Can we just talk about what the fuck happened with this thing? How is this app called? Fuck, I forgot. Can we just talk about what happened with this thing right here? Cluely, what the fuck happened with this thing? Like, what's going on? Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of context because I just heard about this guy and these what these guys are doing, and it's kind of crazy. Like, let me show you. Shit, no, I don't want this shit. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me just make my camera a little. There you go. So what the fuck is this? What the hell is going on? Okay, so this guy, context. This guy, this guy is crazy. He's currently the founder of this thing. Clearly, we're gonna talk about that. He also created Interview Coder. We are gonna also talk about that. And he basically, because of this thing, he got kicked out of Columbia University. But he's resigning from Harvard. He resigned from Harvard and then community college graduate. I don't know. I don't know. It's just crazy. Like, let's look at this guy. So this thing is the first thing that I saw from this guy. Man, this is what the fuck is going on, man. I just, entering his profile, I also saw this shit. There's literally a live stream. There's literally a sperm race. Like now, there's a sport called sperm racing. Like, and it literally is gonna start like right now. Like you can go to this shit. Okay, we're literally getting out of the way, but like, what the fuck is going on, man? This is another thing. Like, this is another topic. But let's talk about this thing. Like, basically, the story of this guy. He's called Roy. Um, he was in obviously in Colombia, I suppose. I don't know the story, the full story of this guy. He was like, I don't know. He's very good at software, so he's a software guy, and he created this thing, um, which is basically, as it says, an invisible desktop application to help you pass your technical interviews. So as you can see, if you go to this and you go to this, literally like the okay, okay, he changed it. He changed it a bit because the first thing, he literally just put fuck lead code. So we're gonna talk about this guy because this guy has some really interesting stuff going on, and I really want to talk about this because I don't know why I just fuck with this guy. Like, you know, we're gonna talk about it, okay? But yeah, this guy literally just like fuck lead code, and basically this helps you pass your interviews, at least on like lead code and whatever. And it's just crazy, you know. And obviously, this was very. I remember saying this. It was literally in February. In February, I remember saying that, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty interesting." And obviously, people got mad at him. The ethical questions of all these things and whatever. And I think this is the reason of why he got kicked out of Colombia. He basically got kicked out of it. We can actually search for it. Colombia. There you go. Okay, this was in March. I just got caught of Colombia for taking a stand against lead code interviews. This is the post that I actually saw. So basically kicked out. Yeah, CS major, computer science. Yeah. So this guy basically, um, founded his co-founder, whatever. Uh, he was doing some stuff, and then he came out with the freaking interview coder stuff. And what's crazy is that he literally, as it says, we'd use the entire recruiting cycle to polish the UX on real interviews, getting offers from Meta, TikTok, Capital One, and Amazon. Um, So he literally got, thanks to that tool that he created, offers from all of these guys. And obviously, after seeing that, like they just, Columbia, all of these, this university, I think also Amazon just got, mad at this. And, that's basically what I hear from this guy. I was like, oh, this guy's pretty, like, he's a rebel. That was pretty cool. And, right now I'm just gonna call, like, I'm just gonna talk what I think about this. It's just crazy. And some people are very mad at this guy, like they're very emotional about it. But I don't know, it's just very strange. It's just a rebel. It's literally the definition of rebel. Like, if you look at rebel, what is rebel definition? He's just a person who rises in opposition or armed resistance against the total government or ruler. That's basically what he did with Lead Code. And like, just look at his profile picture. I don't know. I don't have anything against this guy. Like, there's some stuff where I'm like, yeah, it's questionable, but generally I fuck with this guy. I don't know. He's just such a fucking authentic guy. But basically, that was the thing that I saw from this guy, and basically the things he was doing until now, that he came out with this thing which is called Cluely. Uh, let's just watch the video, okay? Just look at it. I think, as they say, an image represents more than 1,000 words. I don't know how this saying goes, but just look at this shit.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So, how old did you say you were?
I'm 30 years old.
This is crazy, man.
Your profile says you worked at Bananazon?
Yeah, I've been there for the past 8 years doing like senior software engineering, so like coding.
Really?
I mean, look, I know I look a little young for my age, but I promise you, I'm 30 years old.
Okay, well, maybe you are just way older than you look.
I saw your profile that you're into art.
Yeah, I've been really into illustration design genre. I didn't expect you to be an art guy. Oh, yeah.
Here's your glass of rosé. And
Thank you.
sorry, we couldn't verify your ID.
Oh,
so here's a grape juice for you.
Oh, wait, I'm pretty sure there's a mistake.
I think you're way too young for me, so I'm gonna have to go.
Wait. Okay, look, listen, I know I lied about my age. I'm sorry. But the second I saw your profile and I see the painting with the tulips, you're just like the most gorgeous girl ever, and you're such an unbelievably talented artist. Do you think you can just give me like one chance to show you I can make this work?
Can you give me some time to think about it? Are you free sometime next week?
Ooh, actually, next week I have this anime convention I gotta go to with my boys. You can do like next month, maybe?
Oh my god.
Bro, this shit's crazy. Like, I gotta say something about this. This, just look at this. We're April 25th. In 5 days, this shit got 12 million views, basically. So, obviously, if you go through the comments, and I actually put a comment right here, but if you go to the comments, a lot of people are emotional about this. A lot of people are like, what the hell you took, ethical stuff and all that. But we could accept this. This ad is just a fucking great ad. Because what is advertising? At the end of the day, advertising is letting people know about your stuff. Right? That's all advertising is. So this is just such a great advertising. Because he did that very well. 12 million views. Now, obviously, the actually interesting thing here is branding, right? Because branding, there's branding, and then, in branding, there's like positive and negative branding, right? Like, for example, with Budweiser, but with Bud Light, they made this ad with a female, what was it, actress. The ad was really good because a lot of people knew about it. Now the branding was bad because their sales went down. Budweiser is obviously more like a male brand and whatever. And then after that, they made an ad with a partnership with the UFC, and obviously the ad was great. People knew about the stuff, and then the actual branding was positive because they actually made more sales. So the advertising here is genius. It's just great. The video is so good, man. This ad is just so good. Like, imagine this on the Super Bowl. Obviously, I don't know, it will cost millions of dollars, but like, it's just a great ad. Now, the interesting question here is how, the brand is gonna be. Like, as of, I was going through some posts from this guy, from Roy, and he basically said that they already made like $3 million in ARR, like annual recurring revenue, and for now the branding is great because they're literally just making money, right? But who knows long term what's going to be the actual branding? Is going to be positive, negative? It's definitely going to be very interesting because these guys, like, clearly, they're really just challenging. Like, they're literally a rebel company. They're just rebels at challenging anything. As you saw on the video, the end of it is literally just says invisible AI to cheat on interviews, exams, sales calls, meetings, and everything. Like, just look at that. Invisible AI to cheat on everything. So that's definitely very controversial. And long term, it's going to be very interesting to actually see how these guys play out. Like, if it's actually going to play out good for them, like, it's going to be good branding for them. And good branding basically is going to make them money. Now, obviously, some people are gonna say, "Oh, this is a very superficial way to view it, right? Like, just because of money." But like, at the end of the day, we live in a a capitalist society, right? Like, everything's business, right? So if your business is making money, like if you put out there like an ad, like this thing, and at the end of the day, it makes you more money, then it was good branding, right? And at the end of the day, we live in a world of hypotheticals, right? There's always going to be people that are going to say, but what if, what if? And it's like, you're always going to get to there. So I have, and I was really that kind of guy myself. I was like, man, but what if, there's one person who doesn't like this, for example, right now, you are moral imbeciles. Like, what? Oh, there's one guy who doesn't like this. It's not gonna be good for the company, whatever. There's always gonna be people that are not gonna like it. Obviously, this is actually like, a little bit like, But I'm saying that anything that you do, even if you fucking like, even on Mr. Beast, there's videos where he literally gives freaking money to Africa or something. And there's people that don't like it. There's gonna be people that are not gonna like your stuff, no matter what. But like, obviously this is a different case, but what I'm saying is, basing things on, like, for example, the thing of basing the branding, like if it was good branding or bad branding on money, I think is very great way to do this because you don't get caught up in the BS, right? Because there's always gonna be hypotheticals. There's always gonna be people that are not gonna like your stuff, and at the end of the day, if you have a business, which at the end of the day, this is a business, clearly. I think this is a great way to view it. But whatever, like, let's just talk about this because it's just crazy. Obviously, it's taking social media by storm. It obviously did to me because it was very interesting, and I have very interesting thoughts about this. Like, as you can see, there's people that say this is the best launch video I've seen. Please, someone stop this man. You know, and then there's people that are gonna say, you are moral imbeciles. You compare tools at blah blah blah, and this guy's just gonna be like, So there's people that actually like it, and there's people that just don't like it. And I personally wrote this like, well, this was 1 hour ago. Love the hustle and that genius here. You really made people know about your stuff. Congrats. But yeah, this is weird. Doesn't feel right. As you said, this to be expected. But in my opinion, I think deep down it's not right. So think about it. Whatever. Keep crushing, man. Like, that was like 1 hour ago. And 1 hour ago, I was thinking more about the ethical stuff about here. Like, for example, that video. Just look at that video. Like, it just doesn't feel right to me because, it was literally cheating to that girl. But then also, I love it because it's just a fucking great ad. At the end of the day, this guy made, if this guy made something right, and we gotta like really look into that. And that is that he fucking got the attention. At the end of the day, we live in an attention economy right now, right? Like, everyone's scrolling on social media, on TikTok, and if you can really gather that attention, you can just really, for example, either change the perspective of people or even make a business out of it, And for example, Andrew Tate really made this thing, like Andrew Tate nailed it on that because he understood that, and obviously we all know, like he nailed it so much that we all know who he is. Some people love him, some people hate him. I'm just talking about attention, right? So if this guy made something real good, which is gathering attention, as you can clearly see here. But yeah, shit. Yeah, this is. Oh my god. Oh, this is very interesting, man. Because now we get into the ethical stuff. I already said, man, this guy's, really good at getting attention. And I there's just something that I love about this guy. I don't know. It's just, it's just crazy to me. Like, just look at this guy. I just look at this guy. I'm like, I just laugh, but I laugh in like in a good way. Cause it's like, I just love what he's doing, right? Now, obviously, that doesn't mean I don't. I love everything that he's doing. Like, for example, this tool, as I put out in the comment,
Thank you.
I'm like, okay, I get it, but also like you get to these ethical questions, right? So at the end of the day, literally their thing is okay, take the short way. So in that case, let's analyze that part. It's like, okay, you take the short way, but then what happens with all of the benefits that you get when not taking the short way? Like, for example, discipline and all of that stuff. You know, this is more about not physical disciplines like going to the gym, but this is more about like how to say it, mental discipline, right? Like psychological discipline or something like that. You know, which is like makes you this I just got a lot of stuff going through my head that I don't really know how to say it. But like I was gonna say something like makes you smarter or makes you more intelligent. But then I got this thought about like, man, based on these podcasts that I saw, intelligence is this and intelligence is that. For example, a definition of intelligence that really stuck with me is one of Naval Ravikant from his podcast or not his podcast, like the podcast that I saw from him with Chris Williamson from Modern Wisdom. He basically said, intelligence is, getting what you want. So based on that, this guy is really intelligent because at the end of the day, this guy wanted to actually challenge the people, like challenge the status quo for if we can call it, say it that way, get a really successful video launch or whatever, and he actually got it. So based on that definition of intelligence, he's a very intelligent guy. So I don't really have a clear. I really haven't thought about this very well, so I'm not gonna get into that, but there's just stuff in me that doesn't feel right. Some people may argue that that is because of the environment that I grew up in. Obviously, our parents, they grew up in an environment where some things are just not ethical or whatever, and obviously you have some part of them are in you because they raised you, right? You were raised in that environment, and it's just a fact. So maybe that's there's just a lot of stuff, right? And for now, at least for now, I just have those things regarding this thing or the vision that this guy has, where I'm like, man, wait up, like wait a minute, is this actually the right thing? Like long term, is this gonna be like a good thing for humanity? And that's another thing. Like a lot of people are looking at this thing, and obviously, it's obvious. Like you need to look at the actions of what people are doing, because actually that's what actually affecting, right, the world. But also, I think we should look into like what's his vision, right? Like what's his vision with this clearly thing for humanity? Because at the end of the day, if his vision is actually to benefit humanity and whatever, I think that's a good thing, right? Now, obviously, you could argue that that's what I'm saying. You could argue about anything, but this is a more interesting argument because you could argue that these guys like, oh, we're gonna help people by doing this and whatever, and then at the end of the day, that might not be very beneficial for humanity. Like, it's just very strange. This is a complex thing, right? It's the same thing with social media. Like A lot of people argue that this is really good because people get more exposure to the information. People, get businesses from it. People get attention from it, like this guy's clearly getting. And then other people argue that this is just very bad because it's literally just a waste of time for a lot of people. Like, for example, doom scrolling on social media. So there's a lot of stuff there. But yeah, this is a very interesting guy and very interesting vision he has. Because for example, any other company will call that will launch a tool like this will put something like AI to empower your meetings or something like that, right? But this guy just went straight to a different thing, literally invisible AI to cheat. Like he literally just used the word cheat. So he just embraced it, right? So there's like these typical AI companies that just go with the empowering whatever, and there's people that are just like, man, you're cheating. This guy just went through it, man. This guy just fucking accepted it. He just fucking get it. He just got it. And this is something I love about this guy. Like he just doesn't give a fuck. And there's obviously some good stuff about that and some bad stuff about that. But generally, I think we should get the right or the good stuff from this thing, right? Because this guy at the end of the day is doing something. And just think about it. There's a lot of people that are stuck in their lives. They want to do this, but they're like just not wanting to doing. They're just not doing it. And if they could really get the good lessons from what this guy is doing, which is not giving a fuck, then they will actually go and do it, right? And yeah, there's gonna be hypotheticals like in anything. There's some good stuff, there's some bad stuff. I usually like to keep the good stuff. Obviously, if it's something very extreme like Hitler, which he literally killed humanity, he wanted to kill like a lot of people. Well, obviously, we need to look into the bad stuff right there, obviously. But this guy's he's not trying to kill humanity, right? Like, he's not, he doesn't has that thing, right? Like, it's just a very interesting, different way to view things. And he's really achieving it. So, I don't know, I just wanted to talk about this because it's very interesting. And if we actually go to their website, actually just sign up and everything, and actually was using a little bit of the product. Obviously you need to pay and whatever. But like for example, let's look at the manifesto because this is a very interesting one. So this thing says, we want to cheat on everything. Yep, you heard it right. Sales calls, meetings, negotiations. If there's a faster way to win, we'll take it. We build clearly so you never have to think alone again. It sees your screen, hears your audio, fits your answers in real time, while others guess. You're already right. And yes, the world will cut it cheating, but so was the calculator, so was spell check, and so was Google. This is a very interesting point he's making out here because this happened, man. There were a lot of professors when the calculator came out, which literally, were advocating to, this is cheating. And same with Google, and same happened with ChatGPT, right? I literally like we all lived it on high school, right? I'm still in high school, but when this thing really started to get popular, which was basically 2023, because it really came out in 2022 in December or something like that. I remember being in school and using it, and people and teachers being like, that's cheating, whatever. And at the end of the day, it's a tool, right? So that's also something I wanted to get to. Like, all of these things are tools, and there's people that are gonna actually use it, and it's not gonna be as beneficial as other people that are gonna use it in a different way. It's a tool. Like, for example, a gun. You can use it to fucking kill humanity, or you can use it to defend humanity from bad people. I don't know. Same with ChatGPT, and I this is my personal experience. Like, when it came out, I think, in my opinion, used it badly because I was literally just, let's say this is a test, or this is a thing that I want to know about, from I don't know, history or whatever, and I just literally copy and pasted, and they didn't even see what the response was from ChatGPT. Then copied what ChatGPT came out with and put it on my Google Docs, and then upload it to Google Classroom, and right now looking back to it, I think that was a bad use of ChatGPT. Now, the way I use it is actually being like, okay, how can you help me understand this and whatever. Like for example, in biology, I remember I was in class of biology, and the teacher was actually like, stop using that, right? And you know after first initially using it, I went through that whole thing where in my opinion I was actually using it badly. Then I realized, man, I can actually use this to actually learn better, right? So in that biology class, I was actually using it, which in my opinion is the right way, which is like, oh, how can I actually understand this better? Oh, what is this? What is that? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember I was with this teacher, which is the biology teacher, and she was like, stop using that, Because in her mind, it was like cheating, 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 right? But then I showed her, right, I'm using it this way. And she was, oh, okay. So yeah, around, obviously after a year or two, teachers started to realize this same thing, like, oh, I mean, obviously you can use it to cheat, but also there's this other use case, which is like make it easier to learn and everything. So I think there's gonna be something very similar with this tool, and with the next tool that is gonna, be controversial and it's gonna be really impacting the world, right? Like initially there's gonna be pushback, but then after that there's going to be another way which you can actually benefit humanity, right? So right now, as you saw on the X post, like people are like really, a lot of people are not liking it, and also a lot of people are liking it. Like, so for the people that are not liking that shit, maybe in the future they're gonna actually find a way to use it the right way. So for example, when I started to use this, I literally just installed it, so it's right here. Clearly, I'm not gonna use it right now because I need to pay, but started to use it, and I started to think about ways in which I can actually use this the right way, in my opinion, right? Just as I gave the ChatGPT example with biology in high school and whatever. And there's a lot of really good ways to use this, right? Like you can really be more productive and whatever. And now at the end of the day, this is the thing here. Like these guys are actually branding in a whole different way, which is actually using the word cheating. But yeah, let's continue. I just wanted to say some of that. So yeah, the world will call it cheating, but so is a calculator, Google, etc. Every time technology makes us smarter, the world panics. Then it adapts, and then it forgets, and suddenly it's normal. This is basically what I just said, babe. But this is different. AI isn't just another tool; it will redefine how our world works, and that's true. Like this is just different. Like we're talking about intelligence right here. In calculator is not really that. It's not really intelligent when you think about it, right? Um, why memorize facts, write code, or research anything when a model can do it in seconds? This is an interesting question, right? The best communicator, the best analyst, the best problem solver is now the one who knows how to ask the right question. And I really believe that because I just believe that, okay? The future won't reward effort, it will reward leverage. So start cheating because when everyone does, no one is. Now, this is a very interesting one, and I really agree because that's just the world. I really agree what he's saying here, for example. Like technology makes you smarter, the world panics, and then it adapts and forgets. Like I think that's what happened with ChatGPT and schools, right? First, it was like the world panics. But I should argue here that it depends how you makes you smarter. Because in my opinion, I don't think ChatGPT makes you smarter if you go to the route where you don't actually, for example, just where you just copy and paste and don't mind, don't see anything. I think when it makes you actually smarter, in my opinion, in my limited knowledge that I have, I think it makes you smarter when you actually use it to question things and to actually learn more easily. Basically, the example I gave of learning um, biology and all that, and that's a very important point that I want to make there right there. But yeah, uh, yeah, at the end of the day, technology is a tool. If I can summarize all of these, technology is a tool, and there's both ways to use it. You can use it to actually, you can use it to kill people. You can use it to save people lives. You can use it to make you smarter or even make you dumber. Like it depends. There's people that are gonna use it kill people. There's gonna people who use it to make them much more dumb. And there's people that are gonna make use it to make them smarter, make them to save people. And obviously we all want, or at least as a society or as humanity, we will all want to go with the latter, right? Like save people, be smarter, etc. So I actually like this tool comes out because it's another step, right? Into that direction. Obviously, it's sooner. Basically, it makes us sooner that we go to that direction. And as he's saying, right, the world is panicking right now. But yeah, I don't know. These are very interesting. Very interesting, because if I can summarize what I think about this thing so far is interesting. Now, what does that mean? Basically, I fuck with this energy. I fuck with this, level of disruption. I fuck with this, like, basically rebellion, like with this questioning of the system of the standard. Because at the end of the day, that's what, if we look back at history, that kind of like attitude and vision and energy has brought us here to have computers and have technology and you know have a better society, like have a better society that we had like 500 years ago. But also there's obviously the ethical implications of it. Like I still don't completely get my head around this because there's like this ethical stuff. But yeah, if I can summarize it that way, that's the thing. Now, there's also good stuff and that I think we should all get from this guy. Like this guy's literally just doesn't give a fuck. He just goes and do it and does it. And I think if more people could just have that energy, obviously with the goal of helping humanity and whatever, we could have a better society and better products, better tools, better businesses, better quality of life, etc. And I think this is the guy vision, right? Obviously, he's marketing in a very different way, and also that's very admirable. But yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, that's what I can say about this. And then I'm gonna go and watch the fucking sperm race. Oh my god, this is so strange, man. One thing is certain, like one thing is certain, man. We really live in the most interesting of times. Like you either hate in the time we live or you love the time we live. You gotta accept. Both people need to accept that we really live in the most interesting of times of humanity's history, and that's just pretty cool. Like we just live in that time, and that's pretty cool, right? So yeah, yeah.